Hi, I'm Nicholas Warshak, and in order to make an educated vote on November 8th, 2016, you will need to know about voters' rights and voting importance.
1898, Jacob Myers invented the first voting machine. It gave people a new, innovative way to vote. But since then, technology and opinions have changed. And in this election, most people's hands are tied on who to vote for. But this video will help you decide who you'll pick on this November 8th.
So, some people ask, does my vote count? Well, yes, your vote does count. When you vote for president, you vote in the state election, not a national one. So, your vote counts just as much as anybody in your state, but it may count more or less than that of somebody living in another state. This is how the Electoral College works. Most of the time, the person that wins the Electoral College also wins the election. But rarely, this will not happen, and the person that wins the Electoral College will not win the election. Thank you for listening to my portion of the video.
Voting rights are an important thing that people have died to have, which makes it extra important that we respect them. Voting rights are an act to enforce the 15th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States and for other purposes. People vote to secure our future with an important president that needs to make a change. Our votes all pile up into one vote that will declare who our president is.
Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully you learned something about voters' rights and voting importance. Have a great vote.
Toodles!
In order to make an educated vote, you need to consider all of the media bias. There are a lot of undecided voters, and the news and media are taking advantage of this. They're trying to persuade people to vote for one candidate or the other. There are certain news stations that are biased toward either Clinton or Trump.
Propaganda is information used to influence the way people think to gain support and confidence.
Some propaganda techniques are name-calling, bandwagon, red herring, emotional appeal, testimonial, repetition, stereotyping, circular argument, and statistics.
The side takes emotional appeal for Hillary Clinton.
In 2004, my son was stationed in Iraq. He saw a suicide bomber approaching his camp. My son moved forward to stop the bomber when the bomb exploded. He saved everyone in his unit. Only one American soldier died. My son was Captain Humayun Khan. He was 27 years old, and he was a Muslim American. I want to ask Mr. Trump, would my son have a place in your America?
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
The next ad takes a repetition for Trump.
Speaking to wealthy donors, Hillary Clinton called tens of millions of Americans deplorable. You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. People like you, and you. Deplorable. You know what's deplorable? Hillary Clinton viciously demonizing hard-working people like you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Bias is an unfair defense for against something. The link below shows examples of media bias. You will be able to look at a news clip where the reporters blow off something that is important.
The FBI released more notes on its investigation of the former Secretary of State. One of the findings? President Obama used a pseudonym to email with Clinton on her non-secured server. That raises questions about this previous claim from the president.
Mr. President, when did you first learn that Hillary Clinton used an email system outside the U.S. government for official business while she was Secretary of State?
At the same time, everybody else learned it through news reports.
During its investigation, the FBI showed one of the exchanges between the secretary and the president to Clinton's top aide, Uma Abedin, and she reportedly expressed shock, exclaiming, "How is this not classified?" The agency says Abedin then expressed her amazement at the president's use of a pseudonym and asked if she could have a copy of the email.
Including.
Warning. Make sure you are critical consumers of information. This is why we are giving you definitions and examples of what to look for. Remember, you might think your vote means nothing, but your vote could decide who wins this election, so go vote.
Hillary Clinton was born on October 26, 1947, and is now 69 years old. Her former positions were Secretary of State, Senator, a lawyer, and First Lady. Her party is Democratic.
Hillary is going to raise pay, oppose trade agreements unless they create American jobs, and crack down on bosses that exploit employees by stealing wages or misclassifying them as contractors. Someone might say that opposing trade agreements is bad because the trade agreement she is opposing might benefit the economy. She would defend this by saying jobs, especially good-paying jobs, are the best way to benefit the economy.
Hillary Clinton believes that higher-class people pay less than middle-class people. She will fix this by lowering taxes for middle-class people and hiring it for higher-class people. She believes higher-class people won't like this, but middle-class people would.
People might vote for Hillary Clinton because she is well-rounded with good plans and politician experience. People might hesitate to vote for Hillary Clinton because with the recent emails, the debacle.
Hillary Clinton is going to make some decisions that would be expensive but would do good things for us, such as supporting American manufacturing and lowering taxes for middle-class people. Even though she is very well-rounded, she has some major faults.
Hi, I'm Nathan.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Riley. Today we're going to be telling you about Tim Kaine. Did you know that Tim Kaine was born in Minnesota, is a former senator and governor, and has 3 kids? Before I get into that, though, Nathan will tell you an interesting fact about Tim Kaine.
Tim Kaine is a Democrat and is running with Hillary Clinton. He comes from Minnesota. He is running with Hillary Clinton because he checks lots and lots of traditional boxes one looks for in a vice president. He has executive and legislative experience. He has a strong Catholic background. He speaks fluent Spanish, and most importantly, Kaine is a steady presence. He has been in the national spotlight before, and he knows how to handle the media.
Tim Kaine has a big political background. He is a former senator as well as a former governor. He has worked with many other Democrats, including Bernie Sanders. He has also, over the years, learned to speak very fluent Spanish. He is working to end Alzheimer's and stop gun use. He wants to limit the cost of schools and education, and in addition, he also wants to stop illegal drug use.
So, if you and a vice president that can speak fluent Spanish, has a political background, and wants to work together to achieve goals, then Tim Kaine is for you.
This recent election has been hard. Hillary or Trump, that's all anybody has been talking about is the debates. Here are some true facts about Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump was born on June 14th, 1946 in Queensville, New York, which makes him 70 years old. Trump has 5 children by 3 marriages and currently has 8 grandchildren. His first 2 marriages both ended in a divorce. He had his last daughter, Tiffany Trump, with Marla Maples. His last son was Barron Trump. Barron is 10 years old and his mother is Melania Trump. Donald's first wife was Ivana Trump. They had 3 children together, Donald Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump. Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric currently serve as executive vice presidents of the Trump Organization. Donald Trump runs a business called the Trump Organization. This is just a little bit into the life of Donald Trump.
Donald Trump wants to build a wall on the border of Mexico. He wants to do this because he wants to keep out illegal immigrants and drugs. The wall will be about 50 feet tall and 1,000 miles long. Donald Trump said there are over 11 million illegal immigrants in the U.S., and it's going to be hard to get them all out. 2 former Mexican presidents have already slammed Trump's idea and said they won't pay for the wall. Trump feels like this needs to be done because he wants to keep America safe from all illegal drugs and immigrants.
Donald Trump said he will decrease taxes for America because he said he wants to leave people with money so they're not spending it all and he wants to leave them houses.
In conclusion, Donald Trump will make a good president because he will build a wall, he is a good businessman, and he will decrease taxes.
In order to make an important impact on the nation, you will need to know some facts that are not biased. In America today, there are a lot of biased information out there, and it's not good for you. So in this video today, you will learn some facts that are not biased about Mike Pence, Donald Trump's running mate. He is 57 years old and born on June 7th. Here are some facts.
Mike Pence has been in public office since 2000. He has been in public office since 2000. He has a good amount of experience, and he will be a good vice president.
Mike Pence is a Christian. His favorite book is the Holy Bible. So that says he believes everything good in the Holy Bible.
Mike Pence is running for Republican vice president. Donald Trump is his running mate for those of you that like him, but he may have different beliefs. Keep that in mind.
We hope that you make your own choice
and don't follow those biased people out there.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and this is Jalen Hay. Before you vote for the next president, you need to know more about who Gary Johnson is. Gary Johnson was born in 1953 in Bennett, North Dakota. He is married to Kate Prusak, and he has 2 kids. His running mate is William Weld. He was the 29th governor of New Mexico on the Republican side.
In order to vote, you might want to know more about what Gary Johnson supports. Gary Johnson supports illegal immigration if we have background checks and social security cards on them to make sure taxes get paid. He says the reason for 11 million illegal immigrants is because they know that jobs exist in this country and they automatically think they can cross illegally. He supports the use of hydraulic fracking to extract oil and other natural gas resources. Along with this, he supports the idea that the U.S. should expand offshore oil drilling.
You might also know what Gary Johnson opposes if we vote. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education. He said that public education should be reformed. He also opposes the war on red. He said if we go with red, we'll find ourselves in a war which there will be no end in sight. He also opposes Obamacare. He says that when he's asked whether to modify, he said he wants to get rid of it.
A lot of people think that Gary Johnson should have been in the debates because his name is still on the ballot. Therefore, we should hear how he thinks the country should be run. But a lot of people also think he shouldn't have been because you have to get 15% of votes from voters to be in the debate. Some reasons why people aren't voting for him is because they simply just don't like his ideas. Another reason is because he's not a Republican or a Democrat, and most people like to choose from those 2 groups because we don't have a libertarian each time we vote. Some reasons why people are voting for Gary Johnson is because they simply don't like what the other candidates are saying. Another reason is because they think a lot of young voters think that he has good ideas and what he says is possible.
I hope you now have a better understanding on who Gary Johnson is, what he's for and against.
Hello, William Weld is the vice presidential candidate running alongside Gary Johnson, the presidential candidate for the third party. Here are some facts about William Weld.
William Weld was the 68th governor of Massachusetts. He was governor from 1991 to 1997. He is the Libertarian Party nominee for Vice President of the United States in the 2016 election, sharing a ticket with Gary Johnson. While governor, he promised a leaner, more entrepreneurial state with fewer rules and more results. He said, "That's my definition of an entrepreneurial government."
The main reason why William Weld was chosen is because he is expected to be able to outrun Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. So that means he has very good leadership skills. Libertarians were hoping to present voters with credible alternative representative GOP nominee Donald Trump and Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton. He doesn't really think very well about Donald Trump's plan. Weld and the Clintons are really good friends, so he likes Hillary more than Trump. He believes that guns are dangerous and there should be a law against them. He also supports women's right to choose as an individual freedom.
William Weld said we should appreciate and respect the diversity of immigrants that come to the United States
to be productive members of society. Gary Johnson is open to all illegal immigrants being able to stay in the United States. William Weld is only open to some of the illegal immigrants being able to stay in the United States.
In conclusion, William Weld was the 68th governor of Massachusetts. He was chosen because he was thought to be able to beat Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in the presidential and respects immigrants that come to the U.S.
Hi, my name is Hannah Latino, and me and my friends are going to tell you about Democrats today versus Democrats in history. We're comparing Hillary Clinton and John F. Kennedy to see what similar and different political causes they have for the world. We're going to talk about taxes, abortion, Obamacare, and immigrants because there's so many minor issues that we can't name them all. Here's Anna with taxes.
Democrat nominee now, Hillary Clinton, and the past nominee, John F. Kennedy, both believe that taxes should be raised for the wealthy. They also believe that the middle class should get tax break on health care and college fees.
We found out that Hillary Clinton and John F. Kennedy both support abortion and Obamacare. Hillary said that abortion should be legal and that it should be up to the mother's right to choose. Kennedy said that it should be the mother's decision and abortion might need to happen if a life is at risk. We also found out that they both support Obamacare because it gives medication to the not so wealthy people.
Many people have different opinions on immigration, but Hillary Clinton has said many different things that changed her opinion many different times. But here's her real opinion. We need comparative immigration reform, the equal path of citizenship. That was a direct quote from Hillary Clinton. But she's not the only Democrat that has opinions on immigrants. The interaction of ideas led immigrants here. The opportunity of a new life gave all Americans a favor of character. That makes unmistakable, said JFK. Both of them make very good points and have the same opinion, actually. Clinton and Kennedy think that the United States would be better if everyone was a legal citizen. Today, our topic was to inform you of the differences between Hillary Clinton and John F. Kennedy. Most of them were similarities because they are Democrats and usually they side with the same political topics. Thank you for listening, and we hope this helped you for your future voting.
Have you ever wondered why so many voted for Reagan, yet so many are hesitant to vote for Trump? Well, here are some completely non-biased and opinion-free facts.
Hi, I'm Maddie Ketron, and my topic was Reagan versus Trump. Reagan signed over 43 bills, creating over 10 million acres just to protect wildlife. Trump says that we should worry less on wildlife, but we should fix problems with the endangered and almost extinct species list. However, Reagan said that we should take the items in our homes, such as classic guns that we have been using for centuries, and we should make them better. Trump said we should use what we have and defend ourselves and go head on against our rivals. Both of them wanted to start a war against drugs using icons from shows such as The Brady Bunch, Disney Channel, and many other that many children will know, so that way they will be encouraged to not do drugs.
Hi, I'm Jackson Good, and my topic is Reagan. In Reagan's younger years, Reagan was a member of the Democratic Party and campaigned for Democratic candidates. However, his views grew more conservative over time, and in the early 1960s, he officially became a Republican. In 1937, while in Southern California to cover the Chicago Cubs spring training season, Ronald Reagan did a screen test for the Warner Brothers movie studio. Studio signed him to a contract, and that same year he made his film debut in Love is in the Air, playing a radio news reporter after making unsuccessful bids for the Republican presidential nomination in 1968 and 1976. Reagan received his party's nod in 1980. In that year's general election, he and running mate George H.W. Bush faced off against President Jimmy Carter.
and Vice President Walter Namdal. Reagan won the election by an electoral margin of 489-49 and captured almost 51% of the popular vote. At the age of 69, he was the oldest person elected to the U.S. presidency.
Hi, my name is Jalen and my topic is Trump. Donald Trump is our Republican running for president, and some people may be confused on who to vote for. So here are some facts. For one, Donald Trump has very high expectations for the USA and can make it better than it already is. Another thing is that Trump can't be bought. Donald Trump stands for things and will not back down no matter what, to make what he does very, 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 very great. If you don't believe me, just look at Trump Tower. But at the same time, Donald Trump was a manager in the WWE, so that means that he can joke around. Yes, this can be a good thing, but at the same time, you don't know if you can take him seriously when you need to. Also, Trump can be proven as sexist towards women.
So, in conclusion, both candidates want to stop a war against drugs, both were entertainers and movie broadcasters, and both have no political backgrounds and had a couple of illegal trades. So, this is where all the conclusions say vote for Hillary or vote for Trump, but ours ends with choose for you and your family.
Hello, I am Rebecca Laker, and this is DGA's News. Many issues are being thrown in the way of education. Some examples are Common Core standards, use of technology, and government interference in schools. Our candidates are Gary Johnson, Donald Trump, and Hillary Clinton. Now, let's hear where our candidates stand. Gary Johnson, would you like to go first?
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. I must admit there are many issues in education currently. What I believe is that every child deserves to be educated and make their own decisions as of where they want to take a step forward. I disagree with Common Core standards and wish the best for our children's education. Vote Johnson, Libertarian President.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Now, Mr. Trump, what is your stance on education?
Thank you. My opinion is that education has to be local. The more local it gets, the better it's going to be. With me as president, I can guarantee that our country will rank higher in education around the world. We are currently in 28th place. I do not support Common Core and I plan to get rid of it. I don't just plan to get rid of it, I will get rid of it. Now vote for Trump and I'll make America great again!
Thank you, Mr. Trump. Now, Secretary Clinton, would you like to tell us how you feel about this topic?
Yes. Hello, America. I can also say that there are many issues in our education today. For one, I support the starting of charter schools and the growth of our country's education. We shall not stand for 28th place in our education. I also support debt-free college. The more people that go to college, the better. The federal government has to do more to improve schools. I also plan to meet with school boards and make sure that our children are having the time of their lives learning so that we can be #1 in education around the world. Thank you, and remember to vote for Hillary Clinton on November 8th in the 2016 presidential election.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary Clinton. So, in conclusion, Mr. Johnson supports local education and state education. Mr. Trump supports getting rid of Common Core, and he also supports local education. Secretary Clinton supports debt-free college and federal government controlling education. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you cast your vote on the 2016 presidential election on November 8th. See you soon.
In order to make an educated vote, you will need to know about the Supreme Court and the candidate's opinion on this topic.
One of our three candidates, Donald Trump, is hoping for a Supreme Court that utilizes the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment states that all people should have the right to carry on guns. He wants this because he thinks all people should have the right to defend their families. He also wants this because he says we are the only country in the world that uses the Second Amendment.
Hillary Clinton wants a Supreme Court that will stand up and protect all women's rights. She wants a Supreme Court that will stand up for women's rights like freedom of speech and voting rights. Hillary Clinton wants a Supreme Court that will stand up for these rights. Gary Johnson wants to hold hearings for Obama's nominee. He will hold the hearings for Obama because he sticks to stuff he says. This is why he should become president, because he sticks to things and will do them until they are done. Gary Johnson doesn't want Obama's nominee to change because he thinks that he is good at this job and deserves it.
Overall, I hope this information about the Supreme Court has helped you decide on who to vote for.
Who will you choose to be the new president? Who will you choose to be the new 2016 president of this here United States of America? There are 3 running candidates. The first candidate is Hillary Clinton, who is in the Democratic Party. She was previously Secretary of State. The second, Gary Johnson, who is in the Libertarian Party, was former governor of New Mexico. And last but not least, the third running candidate is Donald Trump in the Republican Party. He was previously billionaire real estate mogul. We are here to discuss one of the most debated topics of the presidential election: immigration.
Hillary believes that those who have committed crimes while living in America illegally should not be permitted to stay here. She promises to propose immigration legislation in her first 100 days that would include a route to citizenship.
Gary Johnson believes that immigration across the border is not a quant of too little security, but rather a legal immigration system. The simple does not work. He thinks we should be limiting the border using bigger fences and other provide measures.
Donald Trump, the Republican candidate, has come up on many websites regarding this issue of legal and illegal immigration. Donald Trump has some similar opinions and some different opinions than the other candidates. If elected, Trump will build a wall-sized fence between the U.S. and Mexico border. The wall-sized fence will reduce the amount of illegal immigrants from Mexico that may come into the U.S. Trump says that he will also not allow undocumented immigrants to become legal residents. In the end, Donald Trump fully does not support the illegal immigration, and on the other hand, he fully supports immigration if it is done legally using the legal ways.
Trump, Hillary, and Johnson all have their own opinions about immigration. Trump does not want illegal immigrants coming into our country. He wants to build a wall-sized fence between the U.S. and Mexico. Hillary says that those who have committed crimes should not be allowed to stay. Johnson says that we should be militarizing the border using bigger fences and other punitive measures.
Unifying the nation includes providing jobs, and better health care. Figuring out how to prevent terrorism, Gary Johnson, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump all think differently on each of these topics.
Donald Trump said in television interviews that he would like to see an increase in the minimum wage, and that it's best to have such a change happen at the state level. In the past, Donald Trump has been opposed to upping the minimum wage, but in recent days has changed his mind. I've seen what's going on, and I don't know how people are making it on $7.25, said Trump, referencing the federal minimum hourly wage. With that, I'd leave it to the states and let the states decide. On the other hand, Hillary will make it a central priority to make sure every American can find a good paying job with rising incomes across the border and create jobs and help businesses today. And she'll make the largest growing investment in good paying jobs since World War II.
Healthcare. Hillary Clinton would like to provide healthcare to all Clinton's proposed policies. Meanwhile, would lower the number of uninsured by 9.1 million. But on the other hand, Trump would like to provide better health care to the U.S. Army, and for Trump's proposed plan would rise it by 20.3 million. And Gary Johnson is for Obamacare and may or may not increase, being on the side of Obamacare, but is not determined to. Donald Trump thinks we need to rebuild our military. That is how Donald Trump thinks we can take down terrorism. Hillary Clinton also thinks we can strengthen our military, and Gary Johnson also thinks the same way. This might be one topic that they can all agree on.
This election is just around the corner, and in order to vote, you have to be educated on everything. We are here to educate you on trade.
This year, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement was passed. The Trans-Pacific Partnership is a free trade agreement between 12 countries. These countries account for 40% of the world's economic output, but the candidates don't feel the same way about the TPP.
Hillary Clinton opposes the TPP because it could lower wages and kill U.S. jobs. Trump also opposes the TPP because he thinks that the other countries will abuse the U.S. for its money. Jill Stein opposes the TPP because, like Hillary, it will lower wages and it could send U.S. jobs overseas. Gary Johnson used to oppose the TPP, but now says he would sign it because it could advance free trade.
Free trade is also a hot topic in the election. This is how each of the candidates feel about it. Hillary Clinton supports free trade and does not support agreement NAFTA. What is NAFTA? NAFTA is a free trade agreement between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. It was signed by Bill Clinton and took effect in 1994. Donald Trump says he does not support NAFTA but supports free trade. As long as it is fair, Jill Stein does not support NAFTA but supports free trade. Gary Johnson supports NAFTA and most free trade argument.
Trade is a very important topic in the election, and it is important that you know how each of the candidates feel about each of the hot topics this year. So make sure when you cast your vote, you know that the candidate you're voting for feels the same way about you do on trade.
The Second Amendment is a very big part of this election. Therefore, you should know where both candidates stand on gun laws. We will tell you what both candidates think about the Second Amendment and what the Second Amendment is. I hope this will help you decide who will be a better person to lead our country.
Before you vote, you need to know what the Second Amendment is. The Second Amendment is the right of people to keep and bear arms. This means that it is people's right to own and carry a gun for self-defense. Our current system requires you to go through a step-by-step process, including getting a permit so that you are able to buy a gun. For example, people are going through background checks to make sure that you are allowed to buy a gun.
Both candidates have different views on gun control and how to deal with it. For example, Donald Trump claims that taking away guns will leave our enemies the only ones left armed. Hillary Clinton thinks that we should become more strict with buying a gun. Both candidates also have different things they are going to do with power in the Second Amendment. Donald Trump does not have big plans for the Second Amendment, but Hillary Clinton thinks that expanding the background checks and making it more strict will solve the problem of the Second Amendment.
I hope this will help you decide who will be a better person to lead our country.
Our topic is the drug epidemic. Drug epidemic such as opioid abuse is a serious public health issue. Drug overdose death are the leading cause of injuries, death in the United States. Each candidate has their own plan and opinion about this topic.
I discovered that Hillary Clinton plans to treat drug and addiction with a combination of programs and preventive treatment. Hillary also supports criminal justice reform to ensure nonviolent drug offenses do not contribute to get larger. Hillary plans to spend $1 billion a year to help states with the opioid epidemic.
Donald Trump's plan for drug epidemic is to build a wall to stop illegal immigrants and illegal drug flow into America. The wall is estimated to be anywhere from 35 feet to 40 feet tall, and is trying to reach a goal of 50 feet.
Gary Johnson has a drug plan that will legalize marijuana and let citizens choose if they will use it in a bad way and unhealthy way, such as smoking, or use it for medical purposes, such as weight loss, lung health, depression, and diabetes, just as they have done for alcohol for years. Gary Johnson states, "We're not espousing the legalization of any drugs outside of marijuana."
We have learned a lot about what each candidate has to say about drugs. Trump's plan to keep out drugs, to build a wall that is 35 to 40 feet tall on the southern border, on the southern New Mexico border line between them and the United States to keep drugs out.
Hillary plans to treat the drug and addiction problem with a combination of treatments and programs.
And lastly, Gary Johnson
something.
Something that will legalize marijuana unless citizens choose if they will use it for bad purposes or use it for medical purposes. I hope this helps you with your decision on who you're going to vote for.
If you want to make an educated vote, you need to know about the candidates, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Gary Johnson, and what their opinions are on climate change and what they want to do when they become president.
Hillary Clinton has recently stated that her plans are to slash carbon pollution by ensuring that no American is left out or left behind as we see this rapidly increasing energy economy. Hillary Clinton thinks that climate change is a serious problem as stated on Twitter.
Donald Trump might believe in banning Muslims and building a wall around Mexico, but he does not believe in climate change. In very many of his Facebook posts, he has stated that he does not believe in climate change at all. And I quote, "Climate change is just a very, very expensive form of tax. A lot of people are making a lot of money. I know much about climate change. He wants to address these issues by dismantling the Paris Agreement."
Gary Johnson thinks climate change is a thing. He agrees with Hillary Clinton. If you are passionate about climate change, you now know three perspectives on this issue and could base your vote off their opinion on climate change.
In order to make an educated vote, you will need to know about 3 debates. Our topic is debate breakdown. We watch the debates and we will tell you about the topics and outcome of each debate. If you were tired or just didn't want to watch the debates, we will fill you in.
The first debate was Monday, September 26, 2016. There were 2 candidates involved, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. These are only a few topics: job and economy and race in America. Many people are stating Hillary won because she had reasonable and smart answers. Because of that, Hillary got some more voters on her side. One topic that was talked about a lot was jobs and economy. Trump thinks that lowering the corporate tax rate to 15% to unleash American creativity here in the U.S., which will make us more globally competitive. Hillary's point of view is that one way is to drive jobs and improve our nation's competitiveness is to invest in specific research. Another topic is race in America. Hillary thinks that we need to acknowledge some hard truths about race and justice in this country. And one of those hard truths is that there is racial inequality in our country. And Trump thinks that horrible crimes are happening because of racism. But we have to give the power to the police because crime is rampant and we need them.
The second debate was Sunday, October 9, 2016. Here are some topics that were addressed to the candidates: Trump's tax returns and Hillary's emails, Affordable Care Act, Islamophobia and Syrian refugees, the war in Syria, leadership and deplorables, the Supreme Court, and the energy policy. And remember, each candidate has an opinion on these topics. One of the hot topics in the second debate was Islamophobia and Syrian refugees. Trump thinks that since we don't know who these people are and they're coming into our country, that it could cause tremendous problems. But Hillary thinks that since we have a open, free, and tolerant society, that we should be able to have these refugees in our country and they will not cause any problems. Another hot topic in the second debate is the energy policy. Hillary thinks that we should start to pull away from fossil fuels and start to push the use of renewable energy. But Trump thinks that that is a big mistake because it is expensive and it does not save enough money in the energy savings. In the second debate, the news and media were saying that Trump won. The news and media determined that Trump won the second debate because of his logical and fair-minded responses to the topics. They also said that this debate would have a great outcome on the number of voters that he has. The third debate was Wednesday, October 19, 2016. Here are some of the topics that were addressed to the candidates: debit and entitlement, immigration, the economy, the Supreme Court, and fitness to be president. One of the hot topics in the third debate was immigration. Trump thinks that we should build a wall on the border of Mexico because he said that a nation without borders is not a nation. The border is to prevent people from coming in the country illegally. And Hillary thinks that a physical border might be necessary and that people across that border will understand that we have to protect our country.
Another hot topic in the third debate is debit and entitlements. Hillary believes that the wealthy should pay their fair share and that millionaires and billionaires should not have to pay reduced taxes. Trump thinks that he might put a slight tax raise on the wealthy, and he is not going to raise them for middle class. And in the third debate, news and media were saying that it was even. The news and media determined that the third debate was even because both candidates gave clear and well-formed answers, but they both got even amounts of voters on their side.
You have now learned about the 3 debates and the outcome of each debate. Now you can make your educated vote. Trump or Clinton? Go make that vote.